Welcome back to the channel, Panda Pals. Today, let's talk before the 90 days. We're on episode 5, and a lot actually happened in this one. We find out that Javon loves toxic podcast bros that teach him how to be a real man. We see Laura take Birkan on the worst date ever. And Lisa finally gets to meet Daniel, and they basically eat each other's face off. So, hang on to your butts, and let's get this show started. Let's check in with Emma and Ziad. Ziad takes Emma to a cooking class so that she can learn how to cook Moroccan dishes for him, but let's be honest, this is just Emma learning how to cook, period.
Don't I look like a wife right now? I have an apron on, I'm cooking.
If that's all you think a wife is, sure. Anyway, Emma tells us that Ziad initially did not tell his family that she was visiting Morocco, and that obviously pissed her off because what guy doesn't introduce the girlfriend that he says he wants to marry to his parents? So she makes a big stink about it, and now she's like, baby, did you finally tell your parents that I was coming to visit? And Ziad, very unconvincingly, is like, oh yeah, for sure.
Did you tell your family about me yet?
Yeah.
So Emma's like, okay, well, can I meet them? And Ziad is like, oh, I don't really think that's gonna work because everybody's like, they're living and they got stuff to do. It's like a little schedule.
Do you think I can meet your family?
I don't know which time they will be free.
I'm not gonna meet anyone in your family while I'm here.
That's what I think.
So Emma is very upset because she expected Ziad to take the initiative to plan a get-together for them, especially considering he knew about her trip well in advance. So now this is making Emma suspicious that Ziad either does not want her to meet his family or that he's hiding something.
I'm a little disappointed that he hasn't set up a meeting. I want to understand him a little bit more, and I feel like meeting his family is the best way to do that.
Now, before I go on, I do want to say that in my last video, one of you guys told me that Ziad not wanting to know about Emma's past was actually a religious thing. So I looked it up, and it's true. In Islam, people are discouraged from exposing and or prying into a person's past. And it's less, I don't want to know anything about you, and more, whatever happened in your past is between you and God. I also learned that people are discouraged from bringing their partners into their homes if they are not married. So it makes sense why Ziad told Emma he had never previously cooked for another partner of his because he's never had them over his house. With all of that in mind, I do find it very interesting that Ziad chooses to follow his religion in these instances, because I also learned that it is generally very rare for Muslim people to introduce a person to their family that they are not seriously considering for marriage. So, do with that information what you will, Emma.
It's really odd that he wouldn't want to introduce me to his family. And it just makes me feel like he's hiding something about his life, and that's not okay.
They sit down to eat, and Emma brings up their argument from a few weeks ago where she confronted him about all of the women that he talked to online. And Ziad tells her that he has not spoken to another woman ever since that conversation. And Emma does not believe him. And she's like, oh, really? Then can you tell me why you're adding women on your socials every single day?
I found out that he's still adding more women. They're all from different countries. I mean, it's like he's never stopped looking for other options.
Ziad is like, it's a respect thing, babe. If they add me, I take the time to add them.
Since we've been dating, have you talked romantically to any other girls?
No, I don't.
You would never cheat?
No.
Or lie?
No.
Ziad tells us that this line of questioning from Emma is starting to feel a little bit like she's projecting. So he turns the tables and he's like, all right, well, do you have any secrets that you're keeping from me? And this girl looks him dead in the eyes and she's like, no.
Do you have some secret to me?
No.
Sure.
Despite Ziad saying that he doesn't want to pry into Emma's past, it has always bothered him that Emma suddenly ghosted him that one time. So he takes this opportunity to ask her to explain herself. Now, if you don't remember, Emma was engaged to a guy and things were not going well, so she started talking to Ziad, and then she decided to try and make that engagement work, and that is when she ghosted him. She does say that there was no overlap between the two men, but come on, who believes her? So she tells him, babe, I was just going through a really bad breakup. And Ziad is like, okay, so you're telling me you were with another man when you were talking to me? And she's like, no, I was in the process of breaking up, which In my opinion, a relationship is over when it's over. So if you're in the process of breaking up, then you're still with him. So to me, that is a no bueno situation.
When we talk, you still with someone?
I was going through a breakup.
You give me a picture of you like you are single, you know? And you are not. You are still
I was
with him.
going through a breakup.
Emma decides not to tell Ziad about her ex-fiance because he seems really worked up and would probably take the news pretty poorly, as if there exists a situation where Ziad would take that news well. Let's check in with Javon and Annalyn. I just want to say that I think it's so funny that everybody's intro is like, hey, I'm Forrest. Hey, I'm Laura. And then you just have Javon over here trying so hard to look like a badass that he just ends up looking like he really needs to fart. Anyway, meet Anna. She's 38. She tells us that she's a super bubbly, super happy person, which is a little contradictory considering she told us that she was also a very feisty person. Now, I'm not saying you can't be all of those things, but generally, people describe themselves as one end of the spectrum.
I went to university and I studied mass communication because I like talking. Sometimes a lot.
Anna quit her full-time job because she wanted to match her sleep schedule to Javon's because they have a 14-hour time difference. Now that time difference makes it impossible for her to find any other employment. So for the past couple of years, she has relied solely on Javon sending her $400 to $500 every single month. Her mom does not seem like the biggest fan of their relationship because Anna seems to only be living for the relationship. Girlie doesn't work, she doesn't see any of her friends, she literally just sits at home and just waits for Javon to call her.
Umikot na lang ang buong buhay mo, ang mundo mo sa kanya. Mahirap kaya pagmasdan mo ang anak mo ganyan.
So remember that time when Javon told us that Anna used to be sweet and patient, but then all of a sudden she turned mean and nasty? So it wasn't actually Anna that had changed, it was Javon's idea of what a woman should be like that did.
After we got married, he started watching podcasts about masculinity and stuff.
So now Javon believes that if a woman disagrees with him, they should just shut up and deal with it because he is the man, so whatever he wants is whatever is gonna happen.
They teach the man to find women that's soft, feminine, and submissive. My biggest fear is Javon will come and we can't get along.
It kind of sounds like unless you are ready to blindly worship his mediocrity, you guys are not going to last that long. But Annalyn is choosing to stay hopeful because, let's be honest, if she doesn't, she has to admit that she just wasted the past 6 years of her life. So she gets up, goes out, and goes to pick up her mans.
It's like ordering something online and when it finally arrives, you're just excited to unpack the package.
They meet, they hug, they kiss, they get the f out of there so they can get to their hotel and bang.
You heavy.
First of all, don't ever f***ing say that again.
No, don't throw me away.
Don't throw you? You may look tiny, but you heavy, though.
Oh my god, the man said it twice. She gives him sandals to change into, and I guess he must have been sweating like crazy on that flight because his feet smelled so bad, she forced the man to go take a shower.
I did not expect the feet would smell so badly.
Get a big whiff, man. That's what you're going to have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
You want to take a shower?
When she told him to go take a shower, he hesitated as if he really didn't want to be bothered to do that. And I'm just like, sir, if your feet smell that bad, I don't even want to imagine how bad your balls smell. You're about to bang your wife for the first time in 6 years. This is your honeymoon. Go wash everything with soap. And I'm specific about the soap part because I'm starting to feel like you are the kind of person that does not know he has to use it unless he's told to.
Hey.
Yeah, look at you.
This might just be me, but I would be very disappointed if that was the response I got. Like, you're about to bang me, your wife, for the first time in 6 years. And I'm gonna come out in a silky number and you're gonna be like, oh, look at you, so cute. Let's check in with Laura and Birkan. It's her first full day in Turkey, and Laura is feeling very frustrated both emotionally and sexually. After Birkan told her to go sleep by herself, she stewed in bed for a little bit before going out there to try and have a conversation with his stale man for the 30th time. And it somehow ended with them making out, which Laura says was pretty good, but I kind of find that hard to believe because Birkan looks like he has the passion levels of a dying rat.
Ended up like making out pretty good.
Good times.
So everything that's happened so far has basically reaffirmed this idea in her head that Birkan is no longer attracted to her now that he's seen her in person. So you can imagine how awkward it is now that she's taking him on a date to go see a plastic surgeon for skin removal surgery.
I asked Birkan to come with me
Because I kind of want to see how our future could look together as someone who's supposed to support me.
AKA, let me compare you to Michael. Birkan thinks Laura cares way too much about her appearance, and his vibe is more, a body is a body, who cares what the heck it looks like as long as it keeps you alive. Which is fine and dandy, but you should still tell your partner that she's purty. At the appointment, Laura goes off into her room to get photos taken for the surgery, and Birkan is left alone to his devices. Then everybody regroups, they sit together, and the surgeon projects the images that he just took onto a screen for everybody to see, and Laura is understandably horrified.
I was not expecting the doctor to take your most insecure flaws and project them for everyone to see like that.
Kudos to Laura, because if it were me, I would have screamed at Birkan to get out of that room. I would have just been like, get the f outside, you take those fake titties and go squish him in the hallway.
I am regretting having Birkan come with me. This is not romantic. It's not sexy. It's awful.
Laura asks Birkan if he's uncomfortable because Birkan looks uncomfortable. And Birkan does say he's fine, but Laura does not believe him. They go out for a walk and Laura kind of breaks down because she feels weak for seeking out cosmetic surgery. And Birkan tells her that he thinks that it's brave that she's making a decision that empowers her.
You have nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed. You are gorgeous. I will always be on your side.
So Birkan does pass this test, and Laura is starting to feel like he actually really loves her. Let's check in with Lisa and Daniel. Lisa is on her long flight to Nigeria, and her titties are not doing so hot.
My titties hurt. I'm ready to whip them out, fling them around, get some air, do whatever needs to be done with my titties because they're hurting.
Lisa finally lands and she's smelling a little ripe, so she goes into the bathroom so she can freshen up.
Freshen the best I can. I'm gonna wash my crotch area, so I don't want to stink down here either.
Ma'am, do whatever it is you gotta do, but holy crap, do not hit record. And I get it, production wanted her to film while she was in the bathroom, but they definitely aren't going to be upset with her for not filming while she's peeing. So just say you were peeing and that's why you couldn't record yourself wiping your cooter down. Like, well, I could have died not seeing that. I wish I could, but I can't now. Thanks. After she's done rinsing her smelly cooter and getting her wig on, she finally gets to meet Daniel, and oh my god, the two are literally eating each other's faces.
You devoured me!
Dear Lord, that was uncomfortable. But hey, they seem to love it. I don't know how, but they did. Then they head off to their hotel so Daniel can eat another set of her lips. But surprise, surprise, on their way out, Daniel actually hired a troupe to welcome Lisa with traditional song and dance. Now, Daniel is thrilled to see Lisa enjoying in his culture, so much so that this man gets down on one knee and proposes to her. Now I'm taking bets. Who thinks that she's gonna say, I can't say yes because of Faith, and who thinks she's gonna say, Faith who? Let's check in with Forrest and Sheena. Forrest is on cloud nine, okay? He's enjoying doing every little thing with Sheena. Shopping, eating, kissing, breathing. And he's just like, oh my God, I have been waiting my whole life to do literally anything with another woman. Now, these two are out shopping for Forrest because Sheena told him to pack very lightly for this trip because clothing is so cheap in the Philippines. And Forrest is finding out very quickly that it does not matter how cheap the clothes are if the clothes do not fit.
Forrest is the most tallest guy that I've ever seen.
Man, why do I have to be so ginormous? It's too tight.
Forrest tells us that he only packed 3 shirts and a single pair of underwear for the trip, which, first of all, to me, that's not packing light, that is packing nothing. Second, why was it 3 tees and 1 undie? Like, shouldn't it be 3 undies and 1 tee?
Thank goodness I was able to find some banana hammock underwear. Hopefully I get to try those on later.
Then they sit down, they go over their plan to basically tell Sheena's parents that she is going to be cutting them out of her life. And Sheena does agree that separating herself from her parents is the best route forward, but Forrest still has to get her parents' blessing for them to get married.
In my culture, parents are the one who should approve if we are going to marry someone.
Sheena has never told me that I need her parents' approval to marry her.
Forrest is a little confused and he's like, I'm sorry, why did you not tell me I needed to get their blessing beforehand? And Sheena again simply says, it's complicated. And I do believe her. I do believe her situation is complicated. I just wish she was better at articulating it to Forrest because it's very clear Forrest does not understand how the familial dynamics work in her culture, but he wants to.
I feel like after everything I've heard about them and how they have been mistreating Sheena, I don't believe that I need their blessing at all.
As you can imagine, this obviously complicates things a little bit for Forrest because how is he supposed to get their blessing while telling them that he's taking their daughter to America so that she can successfully cut ties with them and introducing them to Molly, who very much does not like Sheena and is very much bad at hiding that. So Sheena asks Forrest if he would be okay meeting her parents for the first time without Molly and they can introduce her another day, because what Molly lacks in empathy, she makes up for in hostility. And Sheena thinks that their best shot at getting her parents' blessing and staying together as a couple is if Forrest meets her parents first and knocks their socks off with his sincerity and his kindness.
If I would take your mom to the province and she would cause a lot of commotion, then things might work.
He agrees to the plan, but he also tells her that his mother is going to lose her absolute mind because she already thinks Sheena is a dirty, dirty scammer. So to tell her that she cannot be present to protect Forrest, that's just going to reinforce in her mind that she is correct. They regroup with his parents and then they drive through a place that is known for their nudie clubs, and Forrest is the cutest darn thing.
There's a lot of street clubs.
That's something we're gonna have to do, you guys.
I don't need to see that. All I need is my sheen.
I'm a little confused because I have been through this man's Twitter and it really doesn't paint him as a empathetic partner. So now I'm sitting here thinking maybe he's not actually a terrible incel, it's just his mother locked him in a room for his whole life, gave him a computer and access to Twitter, and that was his only friend and North Star in learning how to be a person. Anyway, Molly, for some reason, is super triggered that Forrest is saying Sheena is the only person that he wants to see naked.
Forrest, it's not the point of replacement, it's the point of just observing other things.
I have no issue if you want to go to a strip club because they have good boobies and good burgers, okay? You do you, boo. But it's really f***ing strange to me that Forrest is saying, I don't want to go to a strip club to see other women naked, and his mother is getting mad at him for that.
I have no interest in women, but the human body is beautiful.
I don't even go to those in the States.
They cook the best hamburgers.
Then they pass some historical sites and Molly takes this opportunity to throw some more shade at Sheena. And she looks at Forrest and she's like, oh my God, I love history because if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it.
I just have such a thing for history because you have to learn from history because history repeats itself.
Can we make her leave? I really don't like her. Molly is like, I know Sheena is putting in so much time and energy and effort to show us around, but that's not gonna make me regret how hostile I was towards her yesterday. After seeing all the sights, Forrest finally tells his mom that they do not want her to be there for the initial meeting of the parents.
It would be best if Forrest meet my family first so they could have a better understanding.
And as you can probably imagine, Molly does not take the news well at all. And she tells us that if Sheena's parents can manipulate her so much, who's to say they're not going to try to do the same exact thing to Forrest?
I need to be there with Forrest and Sheena. We will come in, say our greetings. No going and yelling and screaming. I promise.
Forrest, bless his heart, stands his ground, and he tells his mother she is hardcore, and she is definitely going to search for anything to cling onto and devour. So he, an adult, is going to take his adult to meet her parents by himself, and his mom can come meet them the next day.
I am not a child anymore. You should be able to trust me and Sheena in our judgment.
I cannot trust Sheena yet.
Molly is desperate to change their mind, and she's like, I promise, if you take me with you the first time, I will not say a single word. And Forrest clocks her on her bullshit, and he's just like, Mom, stop lying.
I agree to not speak out of turn.
I don't believe you're going to do that. We cannot mess this up with Sheena's family.
Collapse and snaps for Forrest, seriously, okay? Because he's not saying Molly can't meet the parents ever, okay? He's just saying that he wants to lay down the groundwork so that when her crazy blows in, not everything gets absolutely destroyed. Then Molly is like, Sheena, your parents are gonna try to brainwash Forrest the same way they brainwashed you. You're really gonna tell me that in 24 hours, you have grown balls big enough to confront the people that you say scare you so much? And Sheena again tries to explain to her that her parents aren't bad people, and I have a feeling what she's trying to say is that familial obligation looks different in her culture, and behavior that comes off as harsh and or abusive through a Western lens does not always read the same way in other places of the world. But Girly never gets to attempt to try to explain that to her because Molly again never lets him finish a single sentence.
Probably got misunderstood.
Now the story changes. I'm scared of your family. Now you feel safe.
Yes, I understand.
How that switches.
And Molly is like, I find it so interesting that Sheena is changing her story again. At first, her parents were mean and threatening to kick her out, and now all of a sudden, they're good people? But let's be honest, can you really say Girly is changing her story when you haven't even let her finish the story?
It's hard to think bad of your parent. You can't go and slam her and judge her just because she...
My problem is her lying.
You can think that your parents are both mean and not inherently bad people at the same time, okay? It's possible and happens all the time.
You acting this way has proven my point. I ask you to please just wait one day. Look at where we're sitting right now. You can't even hold your temper.
Molly doesn't really know how to respond to that, so she just pivots and she's like, the bigger issue in all of this is that you, Forrest, no longer trust me. And she explains the only reason why she explodes the way she does is because she's trying so passionately to protect Forrest.
The reason why I blow up has always been to protect him. He's taken that protection and made it a problem.
Molly just throws her hands up in the air in surrender, and she's like, you know what? You guys do your thing, but I'm gonna be here to tell you I told you so when everything goes the way that I think that it's gonna go.
They're gonna have you snookered before you even realize it, Forrest. So, good luck, guys. Good luck.
And that, my Panda Pals, is all I have for you today. Next week's episode looks like it's gonna be a real butt tickler. We have Ziad's friend asking if Emma is really the kind of girl that he wants to wife up.
He was calling me his wife within like 10 minutes.
Then we have Birkan telling Laura that he is in a massive amount of debt.
With my debts, I am just broke.
How much is it?
I don't want to give you a heart attack.
And then we get Sheena telling Forrest to get a job.
I'm quite frustrated, Forrest. Haven't saved anything for our future.
You're an adult. You could find a job.
So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a real dumpster fire, and I cannot wait. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below, and if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead, click that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!